capable of sustaining civic life. We have a mutual obligation to do our respective parts. The Gainesville Police Department will use every tool at its disposal to create safe places, but you must do your part and work with us to ensure the safety of our community. I thank Mr. Pageant and the council again for allowing me the opportunity to serve as the next Chief of Police for the City of Gainesville. And I thank you all for attending today, and I ask for your continued support as I begin my position as Chief of Police. I am energized, exhilarated, and excited to meet the challenges that lay ahead. In closing, I want you all to know I am invested in this community and in this department, and I am looking forward to us all working together to make Gainesville and Hall County one of the safest communities in which to work and live. Thank you all.
Chief, it's so great to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much, Katil. I appreciate you asking me up this morning.
Well, now we just saw your swearing in that occurred a few days ago, and that was just a great time, and I think great for the community to be able to see what actually happens when a new police chief is sworn in. I wanted to bring you into downtown Gainesville because this is your city now. This is your city to patrol and protect. Tell us a little bit about your background for those people who don't know you.
Yes, most definitely. I'd be more than happy to. Go back a little further on my personal side. I was born in Fulton County, Georgia. I've lived in Georgia all my life. I've lived in different parts of Georgia as I've grown up, being in Spalding County area for a few years and then moved further south into the Warner Robins area, and then went down to Cairo, Georgia, which is in southwest Georgia. I graduated from Cairo High School, and after graduating Cairo High School, I applied for and went to Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, where I began my studies in wildlife management. I obtained my associate in science degree in wildlife management from Abraham Baldwin College and transferred to the University of Georgia to continue my studies in wildlife management. About a year and a half into that degree program, Katil, I decided that I had a calling for criminal justice. I had been around criminal justice all my life through my father. I'm a second-generation law enforcement officer in my family, as well as some other relatives that have been in law enforcement. So I decided to change my degree of study to criminal justice. And while I was pursuing that degree with the University of Georgia, I began my policing career with the University of Georgia Department of Public Safety in 1994. After completing my degree, I applied for and was accepted and given a position to become a police officer with the City of Gainesville. So in '96, I came to this wonderful city, and I knew from that point forward that this is where I wanted to be, the community I definitely wanted to serve, and where I wanted to be able to raise my family. During my time with the department, I have been having the luxury to not only work uniform patrol, but a field training officer. I was promoted in 1998 and was able to work closely with the formation of our business precinct over at Lakeshore Mall, which is still in existence today, about 12 years later. So it makes me very proud to make sure that we did something right over there in that area of the community. And then I was able to transfer over to uniform patrol and run the patrol watch as an assistant commander, and then promoted to lieutenant, and continued my management and supervision of the uniform patrol watch in 2003. And then I was able to transfer into Criminal Investigations Division, and where I also managed that unit and also performed as our Public Information Officer. So I've been very lucky in my 14 years here with Gainesville. I've been able to transfer to numerous units within the department, get a good understanding of our department and working with the community. That's a good dose into who I am and what I've done since I've been here.
You said in your speech when you were being sworn in that you kind of had your eye on being chief all these years, and it's evident by the fact that you've worked in so many different areas of the department. So you know what those men and women are going through on a day-to-day basis.
I most definitely do, Katil. It's very important to me that you understand what your personnel go through day to day, whether it's during work, how they deal with the community, and also know what the responsibilities are, and most importantly, not to forget where you came from. And what I mean by that is that I've done what they've done. I've never asked any of my personnel to do something I wouldn't do or I wouldn't do again. And I think that's very important in building the morale and the confidence of your employees into their management team.
You also talked in your speech about, and I look here as it says, embracing a community-based, problem-oriented policing strategy. What do you mean by this?
Well, what I mean by that comment is that no one department or agency or even private businesses can take care of all of society's woes, whether it be criminal concerns, quality of life issues. It's a partnership. What I want to move into and continue to make sure that we strive for is a department-wide community policing philosophy. And what I mean by that is that's the way we police. when we're not reacting to crimes in progress or calls for service, and there is a little bit of free time that the officers have to conduct some proactive patrols, stop their vehicles, maybe get out of their vehicles, talk with some neighbors in the neighborhood, meet with some business owners up on the square or in some of the apartment complex, do some foot patrols where we may have been experiencing some increase in property crimes, etc. Just so the community, one, can get to know the officer, and more important, the officer can get to know the community. Who belongs there, who doesn't belong there, what's out of place, what should be there when they're there. As far as problem-oriented policing, my belief into that is a little more target specific. For example, or for a quick explanation, I guess, we could kind of be sort of like firefighters go into a hot spot to put the water on the fire to put it out. If there's a community concern, whether it's criminal in nature or whether it is a quality of life issue, we will define and identify that problem, see what resources are necessary to resolve it. We understand the police, for the most part, will be one of those resource partners to work to resolve that issue, but it may also take someone from code enforcement. If, for example, it's a dilapidated house where we may be having drug sales in the area, it may be something we need to work hand in hand with code enforcement to make sure that property gets up to code or either is condemned to where we can remove the problem, that we don't have the environment to sustain that kind of criminal activity. It could be something as simple of having a dark alley where we need to have more lights in there, and that may be something we can coordinate through Public Works or Georgia Power to help resolve the issue. So it's interacting and identifying the problem and engaging our community to help us with partnerships to move forward to make our community a more quality life area and a better place in which to live.
I really like the idea of seeing the police when it's not an emergency situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's nice to know, and I realize that with all the officers we have now, certainly the faces change. The same person might not be stopping by, you know, once a week, but it's good to see the police around the square and in the community, and like I said, you know, in friendly times, and then
Right.
you know who to call when you need them. So I think that makes everyone feel more comfortable. Let's talk about your leadership style. Just from what you said during your swearing in ceremony, I would see you as being a very open and responsive leader, but you tell us who you really are.
Yes, I think to put a formal title on my leadership style, I think I'd have to quantify it as a situational leader. And what I mean by that is I'm able to respond to what the given situation is. If it's something that requires an authoritative nature to where we've got to A, B, C, and D, this is what we've got to do, we don't have time to explain it, then I'm able to adjust to that. If it's something where we need to engage the employees for more of a democratic or a consensus type issue, whether it may be something with a change of policies, procedures, or new programs we may be looking at implementing to get their, not only their buy-in, but their information. I've got over 112 employees now, and the way I look at that is 112 different life experiences, may potentially be 112 different ways of looking at something. And I think if I don't...
that's kind of scary in itself,
isn't
it?
It can be, but you know, it may be the opportunity that it may be something that they can provide to me that I may have not thought of. And I would hate to miss that opportunity to engage those employees. And I found through my management and the career with the department that when you listen to your people and you get their buy-in, you get their ownership, they feel more accustomed to wanting to help move forward in whatever program it may be. And if we don't tap into that resource, and I think we're missing the ball. We're missing the train for that one.
Certainly, you're coming in. Frank Hooper, of course, served as chief for so many years, and like you had been in the department for so long. And then we had some interim situations to keep everything together, and they did an excellent job. And the community, you know, might not even realize some of those changes that have occurred. And now we have a new chief. But coming in now is the new chief, and morale is always important in any department. We're in tough times. The entire city has experienced cutbacks and setbacks like so many in our community. How are you? What are your goals and your plans for just dealing with morale?
Well, I think it's consistency. I think the things that I really believe in are one, accountability. Accountability will and must start in my office and go down through the ranks to the lowest ranking officer and civilian employee. Being consistent is very important. I find that the employees enjoy when they know what to expect when their supervisor, their fellow employer, their boss is coming in from day to day. That's not going to be a change. They don't know who's coming in the next day, so to speak. And being fair, as fair as you can. And I've found by holding people to those standards and holding them accountable for the job that the public expects us to be able to perform and to perform daily, it helps with that morale. I've seen that people enjoy that and being part of the team, and I think by sticking to those three things is a great way to target it, and also engaging them in our department to give them a buy-in, because they're here because they want to serve this community, and I want to make sure that they feel welcome to do so and that their ideas are welcomed as well.
I really liked